Hey Year 8, it is our penultimate lesson, so that means it is the second to last one before we break up. We've got today's lesson, and the next lesson we'll do a quiz of some kind, and that's basically it for the rest of the term. I just want to remind you, so today all you're going to do is working out the mean from a group frequency table, which is what you did last lesson. I'm just going to use this as a quick recap. So remember how we do this. So here's our table. It is length of something, I'm not entirely sure what. So we have got, we want to find out the mean. So remember, we don't know where these 87 lie in this class. So we say, okay, well, what could we estimate that to be? And if you remember, we have to, for each one of those classes, we have to work out the midpoint. So that is step one. Right, so I'm just gonna use MP for midpoint. And if you remember, there's an easy way to find out the midpoint from a class. You go you do this plus this divided by 2. So here we've got 0 plus 50 is 50, divided by 2 is 25. Here we're going to do 75 add 50, which is 125. Divide that by 2, 62.5. 100 add 75 is 175, divided by 2 is 87.5, and 100 add 150 is 250, divided by 2 is 125. So just a reminder, like I said, we do that because we don't know where these 25 lie within this 100 to 150. They might all be 150. They might all be 101. We just don't know. So we say for the sake of argument, we're just going to say that they're all roughly about 125, which is why we use the midpoints. And then if you remember this final column, we are going to do the frequency times the midpoint for each one. So we're going to do 87 times 25, and that equals 2,175. So in total, between those 87, we're saying roughly all added up. If I add all those data points in a row, added up, all 87 of them, that would give me round about 2,175. So I'm going to do that for each of these. So the next one, I'm going to do 91 times 62.5. which is 5,687.5. I'm going to do the same again for the next two rows, and I get that. And if you remember, so how do we work out the mean? Normally we add them all up. So this in theory is us adding them all up. We're going to add up these values here. And I get 14,750. So in total, if you imagine I've got all of these lengths and I added them all up, then I would have 14,750 centimetres. And then what do I need to divide them by? Now, this is the major issue I see, and I said this before, is that I'll see them go, right, so there are 4 rows there, so I'm going to divide that by 4, and I get a mean of 3,688. All right, now, straight away, like, if you put that down as your answer, it's clear that you're not paying attention to the question, because, look, the biggest anything was 150, so how can the mean be 3,688? It doesn't make any sense. You have to use that reality check and say, does that make sense? No, it doesn't. So if you remember, we have to divide that by the total frequency. And adding them up, I get 246. So final calculation, 14,750 divided by 246. That equals 59.96, and that is to 2 decimal places. Make sure you pay attention to the question. It will probably tell you to how many decimal places to do it to, but if not, 2 places is normally enough. I'm just going to use again my reality check. Does that feel like it makes sense? Well, 59.6 would be in this bit here, and yeah, that feels roughly about right. I would say it would be in the middle of that one. I'd say that feels okay, but it's not too big, it's not too small. It feels like it could be right, so it's a nice little confidence boost for me there. Okay, so all I want you to do is to pop onto Hegarty and to complete the task I've set for you there. I think it is 417, but I have set that for you. I think there are only 3 questions you have to do in finding the mean from a group frequency table. So complete those, and then if you finish those, there's a list of about 3 other quizzes which should be quite quick for you to have a go at.